Relationships aren't the meta anymore, and here's why. This is how the modern woman sees men, by the way. Like, genuinely, this is how a modern woman in 2026 sees men, especially if she's from like a Western country like the UK or America or Australia, right? This is the Wizard Liz. If some of you guys don't know, Liz Wizard, whatever her name is, right? Let's see what she has to say about men.
Again, like, why do they even speak?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we allow them to speak.
Why are men's mouths always open?
Yeah, that's video 1. Bro, I can't play that. But you can see, right, the lover girl in me is strong, but the man hater is stronger. So yeah, literally, this is how the modern woman sees men. And it's really important you understand that, because a lot of guys don't realize how much women just don't like men anymore. And there's this trend on TikTok called I Hate My Boyfriend, which is pretty funny, but it is obviously not a good thing. Let me see if I can like get rid of those and then bring this over here and then crop it and then zoom into the post. When he says, sorry for not messaging you all day, but I was wondering why I was in a good mood. Man hater final boss, hashtag I hate my boyfriend. And then, yeah, this video's got 69,000 likes, which is crazy, right? But let's go to the next slide. The bottom line right now is, if you're a young guy, the number one thing you need to understand is that modern women just hate men. Like, men are just villainized, right? Men are evil, men are horrible, men are disgusting, right, to women. And it's really interesting, right? Because a lot of this is just backing up exactly what I've just said. And another thing is that a lot of girls will see this on their For You page. Like, the average girl that you'd think about talking to or you'd think about getting in a relationship with, I guarantee you she uses TikTok and Instagram. This is all coming up on her For You page. All of it. Like, literally, just trust me on this. All of this shit is coming on up on her For You page. I want to see if I can play one without getting copyright strike. Oh yeah, that's going to copyright strike me. But we can read them anyway, right? When he wants to play with me, so now we're playing guess whose car I'm in. Yeah, holy fuck. Me being emotional after I couldn't stop cheating on every man. How many likes is that? 413k. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's watch this. I hope there's no music behind it, but if there is, then...
You are a powerful woman. Stop giving your power away to these men. Stop giving your life away for these kids that tomorrow all are going to be just ungrateful. When someone holds something over your head, you walk away, whether it's a friend, whether it's a boss, whether it's a relationship.
Yeah, this is exactly who women are aspiring to be like, right? This is who I call the female Andrew Tate. What's also interesting is the same girls that say they hate men are also the same girls that I ran through and have just been fucked over multiple times, which is really funny because, yeah, it's always a specific type of girl who hates men. This is the next slide, right? This is the question I want to ask all the boys here, right? Are you really going to date these girls? Because someone has to, right? Someone has to date a girl like who's making these posts, right? It's just insane, right? Are you really going to date these girls? Let's read some of these, right? How it felt mid-make-out when he randomly started grinding my hips for me. 260k likes, or however much that is. Doesn't count if you didn't make me finish. Holy fuck. Yeah, literally. Oh, there's a video here, let's play it.
I had a threesome with my ex's best friend and my ex's best friend's ex.
How does that even happen? Yeah, this is literally crazy, right? The one thing I wanted to say, right, is what I'm going to lead on to now, is being in a long-term relationship, right? This is going to sound controversial. Some people are going to think I'm crazy. Some people are going to think this is like weird and stuff. Being in a long-term relationship doesn't get you anywhere, right? I promise you, being in a long-term doesn't get you anywhere. Because you need to think about this, right? What do you actually get from being in a long-term relationship? What do you genuinely get? Love, commitment, intimacy. First and foremost, right? You're not even guaranteed commitment. Some girls will just cheat. Some girls will like message other guys. So you're not even guaranteed commitment. Love and intimacy you can have with girls when you're not even in a relationship. You don't need to be in a long term to get love and commitment, right? So what do you actually get long term? Evolutionarily and biologically, right? These are the three main reasons why people get in long term relationships, both men and women. It's for pair bonding, it's for reproduction, and it's for raising offspring. That's literally it. Pair bonding is basically to do with reproduction. So for example, if you have sex, oxytocin gets released. I'm just going to put an O. Oxytocin gets released, which encourages pair bonding, which basically encourages you to love your partner and basically raise offspring, right? But we live in a new time now. We live in a new time where child birth rates are declining, less women want to have kids, more women want to stay single, right? So you have to think about, what does long term actually get you? doesn't really get you much, especially in this generation, right? And also, by no means am I tearing down like a healthy, secure relationship. If you're in a healthy, secure relationship, by all means, I'm not interfering with that. Like, you have to choose what you want to do. But I'm just talking about what I think, right? In this generation, right, in the modern day, I really don't think long term gets you that far, especially if you're a young guy. Because every young guy that I've spoken to, whenever they get in a relationship, they always fall off. They stop going to the gym as much. They stop training as hard. They stop doing like good productive habits, right? All because they're in a relationship. And you can argue to say that's partly because of the guy's fault, because he's choosing not to do those things, or it's as simple as you've chosen the wrong girl, right? So yeah. Also, another thing, if you choose a long-term partner, right, what's stopping her from seeing this on her For You page? Like, literally, she can have an argument with you, the algorithm will pick up on that, and then she'll see a post like this, right? Which contributes to like more of a relationship breakdown. Another thing, right? Every young guy has this like fantasy of finding like the right girl or a pure woman. I'm going to tell you for a categorical fact that doesn't exist. The idea of a pure woman doesn't exist. And it's quite simple, right? All women are hypersexual, right? It's just they've been conditioned to hide it, right? For years, women were told to hide their sexuality and their like libidos and stuff, right? But now you can clearly see that that isn't the case, right? With how many women are open about their sexuality. And yeah, pure woman doesn't exist. And the first step in making progress in like talking to girls is to understand this statement. Pure women don't exist. Because if you start believing that there's going to be one girl out there who's pure and innocent, you're going to fail, I promise you, because no girl's innocent. If she has a healthy endocrine system and she has a working reproductive tract, she's obviously going to be hypersexual, right? Especially around ovulation, which is where estrogen, testosterone, estradiol, or whatever, just spikes, right? Because her body's preparing her for pregnancy and potential conception, right? So yeah, every woman is hypersexual, but only for the right guy. This is very, very important, right? If you're an average guy who's a loser and you don't talk to girls, you'll never see this shit and you'll probably be confused with what I'm saying. Like I said here, you don't see this until you become that guy. Like, until you become that guy, you don't see any of this. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my own opinions and my own experiences, because I know a lot of guys struggle with understanding relationships, especially in the modern day. Like, you'll get with a girl just because you can and because she's chosen you, and then she'll be watching this content, she'll be ignoring your messages, she'll be airing you, she'll be giving you one-worded responses, and she'll be doing the whole like narcissistic, I'm going to ignore your messages just for attention bullshit, right? So I just wanted to make this post because I needed to save a lot of the young guys that need my help. This is all going to go into what I think is the best dating strategy, especially in the modern day. The best dating strategy for men is to stay single, date casually, learn about female sexual nature, and become the guy girls genuinely want to fuck. And here's the truth, right? Doing this will give you the biggest ROI, learning about this, learning about female sexual nature. And also, when you date casually and you learn about this stuff, right, and you become the guy girls want to fuck, you never want to get in a relationship because you genuinely see how girls are. Like, I remember I have this story, right? And I was seeing this girl during summer of last year. So this would have been July. Yeah, July. And I remember I was like seeing her, right? And obviously we ended up doing stuff. And literally months later, I remember I installed Instagram and I searched her profile and she had a man like the whole time, which was cooked, right? So when you become the guy that understands all of these things, you see the dark truths behind female sexual nature and how women really are. So yeah, just wanted to make this video to talk about how the best dating strategy is to stay single, date casually, learn about female sexual nature, and become the guy girls want to fuck. This is going to sound like it's blunt, but it's genuinely true, right? This is the honest message I wish I knew when I was like 15 years old, that this is what you do if you want to make progress in dating. I want to put a disclaimer here, right? You shouldn't enter a relationship unless you found the right person. Like, genuinely, like, unless you found the right person, you shouldn't enter a relationship, because you can genuinely lose months, if not years. Loads of guys end up falling into a relationship and then they end up losing months, if not years, right? Because you obviously have the talking stage and then you get in the relationship and then you break up and then you've got the months after where things are weird. Then she's messaging you, then she's not, and then you're like kind of heartbroken. You get upset like 3 random months later. You need to make sure that if you choose to get in a relationship, you understand that this can genuinely take months, if not years, off of your life. Like I said, I think staying single and dating casually is probably the best thing you can do. I'm not saying you should do that forever. I'm just saying this is what I'm basically doing, right? I sound like a fuckboy saying that, but this is just what I'm doing. and I found amazing progress with this, and I've found quite a lot of enjoyment. I'm probably going to dig in deeper as to why men are actually wired for polygamy and not monogamy. It's to do with biology, right? Which I'll probably talk about in another video, which is quite controversial as well. Like, girls aren't going to want to hear me talk about this. And I'm really hoping no girls I know is watching this, because I'm going to be completely cooked if they see me. But who gives a fuck anyway, right? I just wanted to make this video for all the guys that need help with dating and understanding what dating is like in 2026. My predictions are things will get worse. The idea of a relationship and being long-term will break down. Divorce rates will continue to go up. Less people will have more kids. Like, it will just become like a societal collapse, right? This is just what I found to be successful for me. By all means, you don't need to follow what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what's worked for me and what I've found success doing and what I've enjoyed doing. But like I said, feel free to make your own informed decision. At the end of the day, it's your choice of what you choose to do as a guy. Another big disclaimer is loads of guys just say, oh, why are you being casual for? Why don't you just hold your virginity and just stay a virgin, or like don't fuck, or stay celibate or whatever, right? The reason why I don't do that is because if you're a young guy and you don't do that, you'll basically just fall into bad habits like porn and gooning, which is disgusting. So you either choose to do this or you just sit in your room and goon, right? I hope this video helps, boys. And like always, big message I always say at the end of every video, always strive for excellence, because great things will come your way.